Welcome back to Midlife Crisisses. I'm Tyson, one of the hosts. Thank you so much for liking, subscribing, commenting, sharing. All of that stuff helps us continue to do this podcast, and we would appreciate if you would continue to do that each and every episode. We love you guys so much. We want to keep doing this, and that is one of the ways to guarantee. Nothing in life is guaranteed.
Guarantee it. Yeah,
okay, that we will keep doing this. So smash that subscribe button, that like button, that follow button, whatever buttons are there, smash them all.
And we really want to hear from you guys too. We want to hear about your midlife crises. We want to know what kind of stuff you are going through so that we can talk about it and share our insights about trying to survive this bull as well. So
let's get into it.
Hey everybody, welcome to Midlife Crisisses, the podcast. Today we have a very special guest, Omar Drives. Yes, that is his Instagram name. We met on Instagram. He's an automotive journalist. He's a content creator, but most importantly, he's in his midlife and he's going through it. So today we talk about everything from saving for college or not to talking about when do you go to bed and why is that important. We do the whole range. He's hilarious and he brings some really interesting tidbits, especially one specific tip of something that he does every day that he thinks is a major key to his success. And I think I'm going to start doing it as well. Join us this week. Let's go.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Midlife Crisisses, where we battle every day trying to get through midlife. We talk about what you guys have going on and what we have going on and try to find some sort of common ground. We got a special show today. It's going to be really good. I'm William Drumm. I'm a Denver-based underwater photographer, and I'm joined with my friend Bradley today.
That's right. Tyson's not with us. He's off to a super secret location doing super secret things, but that's not going to stop us. We don't stop. The wheels. Midlife Crisisses don't quit just because Tyson's busy. That doesn't happen. So we're still going as well. Thank you for liking. Thank you for subscribing. If you're just joining the show, hello and welcome. Like William said, we address our midlife crises. We bring up questions. We tackle what is going on each week. I'm Bradley Hasemeyer. I'm out of Atlanta, a couple of kids. I'm a content creator. And today I'm super stoked because we are being joined by a friend of mine, a fellow content creator, Omar. And I want to set this up real quick. So Omar is one of those people who I was following on Instagram. He's in the automotive space. I am as well. In fact, I just got rushed in because I was doing a review outside, trying to knock it out before the time and the light and all that. And then we bumped into each other. I guess we became friends online first, and then just through mutual, oh, I like this car. You like this car? Yeah, we're both reviewers. Then we were on a press trip and we became friends that way. Super cool guy. And I just thought, oh yeah, that's Omar. He's cool. And then the other day he messaged me about something and was like, well, that's what it's like to be in your 40s. And I was like, is that a dig at me? And he was like, no, that's me. And I was like, what? Are you kidding me? So William just turned 40. I'm looking down the barrel of 45 in less than a week. And so I thought, let's bring Omar on. I would love to hear his life as a freelancer, as a dad, as a midlife crisisser. And so, yeah, let's make it happen. And so the schedules just align. And so, Omar, thanks for being on the show. Thanks for being a midlife crisisser with us.
Sure. Thanks for having me.
So you mentioned
that. Funny, the first time in this industry that I ever felt my age was, do you know the straight pipes?
Yeah. So they're YouTube reviewers and they do car reviews and stuff like that.
Yeah, they're really good. So they had a video and they'd messaged me that you're going to be in the video. And I'm like, how? I wasn't even at the same press event or press trip as you guys. So you'll see. So they had this segment in there where they started calling themselves older guys in the industry and, they're older journalists. Now there's a new age of content creators coming up. And then they played my Corvette E-Ray video on the screen. And they mentioned me new age and younger people. And then this other creator who is 20 years old comments, he goes, when you mention new age creators and you show Omar Drives, he's old enough to be my dad. I was like,
oh my gosh. Totally on blast publicly. Yeah. And then were the guys from Straight Pipes like, wait, what? You're how old?
Yeah, no, I guess they didn't know. Yeah, they had no clue how old I was.
And so your background is in automotive, and you have what's the situation? Married with kids? How many? I know you have at least one daughter.
Background. Worked with AutoNation for a few years in their headquarters in South Florida. started content creating mostly, I guess, heavily video wise over COVID, like everybody else. Got 2 kids, 2 and 4, 1 on the way.
Oh, I don't think I remembered that. How close one on the way?
Mid-October.
All right.
Cool. You got boys or girls?
2 girls, and the third one now is going to be a boy. So
Good for you, man. That's awesome.
yeah, man. Let's just say, well, the third one, I don't want to say this. Maybe not. I'll skip it. It wasn't planned.
Yeah, that's totally fair. That's totally
like,
fair. There's a lot.
Years back, and he's like, "What?"
Right. There's a lot in our midlife crises that are unplanned. That is an easy statement to make. Yeah.
All the time.
Well, what's it like, your midlife? How you feeling? You like, never felt better? Are you looking back like best years are behind me? What is going on in my life? Like what is a crisis, I guess, that it could be small, it could be big, that you kind of deal with or have dealt with recently?
For me, and I was talking to somebody about this other day, like for me is mostly just like, making enough and creating enough and leaving enough for my kids. Right. More than anything. That's like the main, stress that I have on my head every day that I think about constantly in the back of my head or, all the time. But I was talking to somebody the other day. I was like, man, we had it so easy. Like even when 10 years ago. 10 years ago, it was so easy when you had no kids in the picture and, all you had to worry about was yourself. Like when you leave the house now, you got to make sure you grab this, and 80 other things to take with you. But when it was just you, and even if it was your spouse, like it would just go and do whatever you want for the whole day. Right. So it's like, it was so much easier back then, but now this has become your new norm and your new easy where you're just like, I just got to do it. It's a part of it. So
I think that thing of legacies, that's something that we've talked about before. I think maybe, William, that was even your question of kind of like, what is going to be your legacy for your family? And I think that's something that for sure in the midlife, I think it kind of hits you in a way that it never did before. Right.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I think I was approaching it more from like my artist self as far as the legacy. And then we morphed it into, especially with Tyson, about the legacy for our children and for our family, which ultimately is the more important one and kind of where I'm focused as well right now and trying to figure that out. I've got a 5-year-old girl, Omar, and I am a single dad. So I'm just trying to like hold it together and get stuff like established for the present before I can even really try to dive more into like the long-term legacy. I mean, I have been spending some time our college fund and getting that all set up, but like I'm just like looking down at the next 10 year and everything and just trying to see, hey, how can we do this? Like for me, I feel like things were so easy for me before the divorce compared to now, just because like that dual income and like
extra set of hands, right? It's not just all on you. Yeah.
I can't imagine.
But it's cool. I just moved into a new house and it's been a crazy summer so far, but now I'm like really excited thank you for being here and getting back to that position where I can really be making a positive influence on my daughter's future with what I'm doing.
Omar, you mentioned feeling.
I feel like there should be some like creators out there who are focused in the space that tell people that, hey, when you hit your 30s, start planning for your future retirement and your future kids like college funds or their wedding funds or whatever it is, right? Do that now so you're not stressed out when you're 40 or something, or later when they're born, Yeah. There needs to be some kind of a guidebook because we don't get those.
But would you
just like, oh shit,
would you have done that? I mean, Omar, let's say we're sitting at coffee. Well, not us because we're the same age, strangely. But say you're sitting at coffee and you're 30 and 40-year-old Omar comes up to you and is like, okay, buddy, you really need to think about like investing for the future and thinking about a wedding fund and a college fund for your kids. Would you do that or be like, that sounds like great advice and then just leave? Like, because that's one of those things that like, I always like wonder, like the ghost of Christmas future, like if I could go back and tell myself like, oh man, if you had just like, don't spend money on that thing or, move here instead or like whatever, not in a regretful sense, just in like a wisdom sense. But I also know we're kind of dumb and cocky and like, I'll get to that when I get to it kind of thing. I don't know, but maybe not for you. That's why I'm curious.
Yeah. I mean, you don't know what you know until you like actually face it. Right. So it's like, I feel like if I came back to myself, I knowing me, like how I function.
Yeah.
If I told myself, hey, all you need to do right now is put away $50 a month to $100 a month for a college fund for your kid in the future, right? Just start that now, right? So you can start getting heavy when you make more in the future.
Yeah.
So if it was like a tangible, like figure, a real figure, like, hey, do this now. But okay, I could throw $50 a month aside in like a fund or something. But yeah, like, of course, at that age, you're not even thinking about that. I wasn't even thinking about having kids at that age. So,
yeah. I came from a science background. I used to work in a laboratory, and we definitely had like HR come and talk to us about 401ks and saving for the future.
Max it out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
When I was like early 20s. And, you know, I did whatever like the matching was, but I didn't really take advantage of it. And I definitely didn't understand like the real power of compounding interest. And then now, yeah, it's like with the child, with the college fund, it's not like retirement. Like it's a much shorter time frame. So it's like to get that good compounding interest, got to be putting it in right now. You know, my daughter's already 5 years old, losing out all the time. So trying to get like pack that in as much as I can right now.
I started S529 accounts as soon as both of my daughters were born right away. I was like, because I actually had a friend who did it. So, and he told me how much he ended up saving until like his kid was ready to go to college. I was like, oh, that sounds pretty good. I have to worry about it then later then. So.
And also, I don't really, one thing about saving for the college fund is I have no idea how much I should save. Like, how much do I need? Like, how much is it going to be?
Anything is good in my book, right? It's like, at least you have something. Like, my friend had saved up like $80,000 or $90,000.
So that's like 1 year at state school now.
Yeah, right.
It's like absurd. I could have bought a house when I was in college. Yeah.
His kid went to an in-state college, so it helped out quite a bit.
Yeah.
With that, plus like any scholarships he had, he did pretty well. But yeah, but it's just like, it's something's better than nothing in that situation.
Yeah. Do you feel, Omar, the like, it's all on me kind of like responsibility?
Oh, 100%. My wife is not working currently. She hasn't worked since baby number one. She does want to go back. It's not like she doesn't want to. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, 2, 4, and 1 on the way. Like, there's no space.
Yeah, but she's got her hands full as it is. So she used to be a dental hygienist, so it's a lot of on feet type of job. So yeah, so she hasn't worked since baby number one. It's you know, she's worked a lot more as a mother for sure.
Yeah, but of course.
Yeah.
I wonder what that's even going to look like when our kids are like that age, because the education system is so up in the air right now in America. Like there's so much more of a push, like not to, like it's not as looked at as positively anymore. And then, so one thing with that is like, I've got the 529 too, with the matching from the state. But then I also set up a separate like Roth IRA for Rowan that she can get when she's, I think either 18 or 21. And then that one, they can spend it on anything instead of just like school. Yeah. So I don't know. I'm just trying
to be a good idea. I should
figure it out.
Right.
I think that's one of those things that when I was a kid, it was just like a foregone conclusion. You'll go to college and then, you know, college is going to get you a good job. And that was basically like, it seemed like every parent only cared about whatever it was going to do to get you into a good job, right? So it's like middle school is important to get to a good high school, which means it's important get good grades so you can get to a good college, and get a good college so you can get a good job, and then I don't have to worry about you. You know, it's like really just about, it wasn't about you, it was about them. It was like, I don't want to worry about you. And to do that, I need to make sure you hit these milestones. But what college costs now and what the job market looks like, you know, I think I lived in Australia for a semester, and Europe and Australia is usually included in a lot of those types of cultural things. A gap year where you just between college and or high school and college, or sometimes college and real world is just very common. People go travel for a while. They try to figure out what they want to do. And, you know, it's like instead of paying during that time, I want my doctors to go to college. I want my lawyers to go to college. Like I want those people to be highly educated and sophisticated in those specific fields. But does a journalism major need to go? Does a general business degree that you could get on YouTube? Like I just wonder with a lot of those things. But and I'm in the place too, and where I am in my life, because my friends have kids now in college, freshman, sophomore, which is wild to me. I married late for the South at 31. Where my, friends are married at 19, 20, 21. Well, the South it is. And down here where
it's married at what, 35, 36?
Oh, yeah. See, like big cities are like, slow down, 35, you're too young. What are you doing? I was in LA, people are like, it's way too young. You're too young. And it's like, my friends are like, are you inviting us to a wedding or a funeral? How old are you now that you're getting married? It's like, are you dead? Are you old? And so, we're having these conversations too with them about, what are you guys doing for secondary education? And it's, you can't, I think it's hard to deny. Did you guys both go to college?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it's hard to deny the social aspect. That's one of those things that's hard to say, yes, but, it's like that to me is really the only thing. And who knows, Ellis, she is very artistic and maybe she, goes to NYU for a year and then just decides to go professional or whatever. Loic is an athlete. Who knows what happens with him? So, I don't know, but I don't think it's as much of a foregone conclusion as before. So it does make me, I do have a 529 for Ellis, but I'm also like, I guess recently I was talking to my tax guy about this. I think it's state to state, but recently, at least in Georgia, you can now roll that into a Roth. So if they decide if they get a full scholarship, you're like, well, I saved 80 grand. What happens to it? Now I got to spend it. And they're already, so you can roll that over, whatever. So
that's cool.
There's things like that that I think.
Into, actually, I might have to look into that too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because
I just did S529 only because my friend did it. Yeah. I was like, all right, it's an important thing to have for college, right? And I think you're right. With the current way college is perceived, it might be better to have another type of source that can let them use that money for anything they want to do.
Yeah. And who knows, maybe those laws change in, 20 years or I guess 18 years when, your kids start heading up that way. So it's impossible to know for sure. But I also think there was a guy, and I can't remember who it was. He's a businessman who basically offered people, instead of going to college, I'll give you $100,000 to invest in a business and start a business. Yeah. And I was like, that's kind of cool. Like, what an interesting thought. I don't know if I would have taken that. I don't know if at that time, I don't think I had the business mind or acumen to be able to pull that off. Would you guys?
Because you didn't trust yourself or because you were scared?
I just don't think I would have to have like a mentor for sure walking me through it. Like, it just wasn't wired in me to start a business. It was wired in me to work for a business, right? Like that whole employer versus employee. And it was just more so that was just like the assumption is like, okay, I'll go work at a job instead of like, let me go start a career, and that came later. That came when I moved to LA and basically kind of started my own career that way. But I don't know. Would you guys take that if you're 18 and someone says, here's $100K?
Like this or that, because the reason I wanted to go to college was for like the fun, for the community, for the partying. So I don't know. I wouldn't have been very interested in like starting a business at 18 or whatever. I was trying to go meet people and party, really. Let's be honest.
Let's be honest.
It's funny. A lot of people say that it's like college is one good for education. And I agree with you on that, is that, it's important for somebody who wants to be a doctor, engineer, or lawyer, some kind of like real profession. I'm not saying that what everybody else does is not a profession, but like something that requires a lot of training, right?
Yeah.
Very important for those people. I also think that being social, what I've seen, dealing with people in my life that have social anxiety or like, me, I'm just like an open book and very talkative or whatever. I think that comes from within the your immediate family and the people you grew up around, right? I think that's like instilled in you very early, whether you're going to be a social butterfly or you're not. So it's like, even I see people in college that have, trouble being social. Yeah. Right. So it's like, I think it's like the early on development of kids to like, my kids are super social because they see me being social and my wife being social. Right. My girls will walk up to anybody randomly and like grocery store, like, hi, how are you? And like, like chill out. Like,
right. Let's pull that back a little bit.
I know. I wish I could be like my daughter. She'll just see somebody go up to him like, hey, you want to play? Like, God, that would be sweet. Like,
imagine
so much easier to make friends.
Hey, you want to play catch? As adults.
But the other thing about college is you like most people don't know what they want to do. You know, they go to college to hopefully figure out what they want to do.
Right.
And that's think about it. Did you think college? Because like now, like when I think about college now, right? My time in college, of course, not many people who don't become a doctor or engineer use everything they learned in college, right? Or studied in college. I don't use a single.
What was your major?
Economics and political science.
Okay.
Right.
All right.
Not a single thing that I've ever done in my life. Like if I majored in economics, anything like financially related, I'm the worst financial planner in the fucking world. So it's like, you know, what are you even talking about here, right? So it's like,
that's great.
I feel like there's so much more opportunity now for this generation to go out and figure out what they want to do.
The gig economy, right? Yeah. There's so many ways to get a job or start a job outside of that. That's a really good point.
I wish I was young now, like in my 20s.
Yeah.
Because I would have murdered everybody. Because as hard as I work, like my work ethic is insane. So it's like, that's one thing I kind of pride myself on, right? It's like if I was 20 now without kids, forget about it. Game over.
Yeah. Game over, right? I know. Well, that's you bring up a good point. We talk a lot about like life balance and stuff as well, and especially, you know, William has his daughter for a week on and then a week off. And so his work-life balance looks different than mine with 2 kids. My wife and I are both freelance. So, you know, we're always juggling schedules and all that. In fact, we were going to record yesterday, but you couldn't because your wife was out and you had both kids. My wife just got on a plane today to go shoot something in New York. So I had the kids and I had to, you know, so it's like, it's all logistics, right? And, but that work-life balance is one of those things that I think can be really hard with kids. But I also think sometimes like if the kids are all out and I'm like, man, I just wish I had 4 straight hours. And then the kids are gone. And I'm like, after about an hour and a half, I'm like, well, I don't know what to do now. You know, it's kind of like, cause you get so used to working under those circumstances. And if you know, you've only got an hour, you're going to nail down and crush it versus like, you know, I remember being, you know, in LA, I was 26 and single and it's like, I got 22 hours to do anything. And it's like, well, I'm probably going to sleep, maybe go for a run, go work at the restaurant for a little bit, then come home and say, I don't have enough time. So it's like, you never know. You never say you have it. Like, you never feel like you have enough time until you look back and you're like, but then I had a ton of time then, but I have no time now. And then you have 5 kids and you're like, what were we doing with 2 kids? We had all the time in the world. Now we have no time, you know?
How many kids do you have now?
We have 2, 5 and 12. And then we have a 29-year-old foster daughter who's not really in the day to day, but she's in the mix emotionally. And awesome, I had dinner with her last night, actually. So yeah, so she's in the mix, but that's awesome. That's one of those things that I remember learning when I was younger, because you'd meet like high school students and they're like, oh man, middle school, I wish I could just go back. And then you meet college kids and college kids are like,
nobody wanted to go back to middle school.
High school. No, well,
nobody wanted to go back to middle school. Okay, that's fair. Maybe not so much middle school. I certainly didn't. I was glad to get out. Yeah.
But maybe the college to high school, right? You're in high school and it's like, I have so much homework, got to do all this things, work so hard. And then you get to college and you're like, what was I doing? That was for nothing. This is where it matters. And then you're just like grinding. And then you get out and you're like, now I have no time. College, I had all the time in the world. I'd go play Frisbee at night, or I'll go play basketball, or stay up till 2 with my friends.
I will say that even though I didn't like directly use what I learned in college, I almost did. I was a scientist for several years. So I did use my biology degree for a while. But then I also did photojournalism classes. And now I'm an underwater photographer.
That.
Yeah. So it was only 2 classes I took in college, but it was like the experience, and it like gave me a camera to try out for the first time. And eventually that became my career. So even though like the experience was still super valuable.
When you introduced yourself in the beginning, you said underwater photographer. I was like, what? Like, that is so cool. Like, oh yeah, tell me more.
Well, William is easily, we always tout, the greatest underwater photographer in all of Colorado, certainly Denver, the landlocked state of Colorado. But he photographed Billie Eilish's cover photo. He was one who produced that and shot that, and for her album, where she's like falling through the water through a door. It's like a blue background.
No way.
Yeah,
that is awesome.
Yeah.
And then this Friday, we're actually having a big event. It's like we filmed a little artist profile about me last year, which kind of segues from me doing wildlife photography, photographing whales and sea lions and sharks and all that, into more artistic underwater photography with the Billie Eilish shoot and stuff. So we're having a huge party on Friday. It's going to be awesome.
That's so cool, man.
It's weird in Colorado. I live in Colorado.
Two things. I find that so amazing to be underwater and have like a artistic cell going on in your head. Like, hey, like capturing beautiful images at the same time. Like that balance is awesome. But like, and two, I feel like shit because I'm not filming for the past like 4 days because it's raining outside and he's like underwater.
He's like, no problem. Water doesn't stop him, Omar. What about you?
I got this. I'm like, oh, it's raining.
Yeah. Oh, it's a little sprinkle. I don't go out with my camera. I know go.
It's been raining a ton here, like it has been in New Jersey too.
Oh yeah.
So I got to go do a shoot this weekend, and all the like streams and rivers are like gushing with water. And
so you're excited.
It's
you're like,
hard.
Yeah, it's hard.
Is it good or is that bad?
It's not good because then it's harder to like the visibility's worse and it's dangerous and
because now it's rapids, class 5 rapids.
Yeah,
where
exactly.
it was just like a koi pond.
What's like
before.
the most scariest, like dangerous situation you've been in?
Oh, it's usually not very scary, honestly. I've had very few situations where I've been like scared, but I did get attacked by a sea lion once. And that was pretty scary. I was photographing or filming for a documentary. It was like 2 weeks straight filming in Monterey Bay, California. Just like 8 hours a day, mostly by myself filming. We were trying to film cormorants and this really cool behavior actually where giant green sea anemones can actually eat large animals. So we're trying to film these sea anemones eating birds. And
Whoa.
we did. It was amazing footage.
So cool.
But there was all these sea lions every day, like blowing bubbles at me and like getting a little closer. And then on like the last day, like day 14 of the shoot or something, I was kind of nestled up in the rocks in Monterey, kind of like filming the female sea lions coming down and doing swoops. And I'm pretty sure that the big male thought that I was moving in on his harem. And snuck up behind me and just grabbed me by the shoulder and just literally shook me like 6 feet this way, 6 feet that way, just like, woo, woo, woo. And I was just moving through the water like that. But I was wearing like a really thick, dry, like wetsuit, a compressed neoprene dry suit. So he didn't like puncture the suit and he didn't hurt me. Like, it didn't like actually get me, but it scared the shit out of me. Obviously.
As it would.
And then I like tried to tuck back into the rocks even further. And he came back again and did like a little head fake. Boom. Then he bit my camera and busted the dome on the camera. Like it didn't flood, but he cracked it. And then I was just like, whew.
In my head, it's playing out as like Jurassic Park where the T-Rex comes and just goes out.
Yeah.
That's how I'm envisioning it.
Meets the Revenant.
Yeah.
It's basically those two together.
The most dangerous situation I've faced is driving a Rolls Royce in Camden, New Jersey. So it's not even close. Like,
probably a lot higher fatality rate doing that, actually.
Yeah. That's true.
We always joke that like the most dangerous part of scuba diving is driving to the dive site. So
because it's usually like some sketchy area that people aren't around.
Just because like there's really not very many accidents for diving, and there are car accidents.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, in special like cave diving, rebreather diving, there's a lot more things that go wrong, but typically just the kind of scuba diving that I like to, not too dangerous.
How long can you hold your breath underwater? You said at one time.
Not very long right now. When I'm training, I can do like 3 minutes or so.
That's wild. I saw that Tom Cruise had to hit like 6 minutes for one of the scenes that they did. Not this past movie, but another one where he was underwater. And I was just like, 6 minutes? I couldn't even stand still for 6 minutes, much more hold my breath. I'm sorry,
but seeing all this Tom Cruise content has just been making me feel like shit. Like about myself.
I know there's so much.
Like this guy's just like, oh, what's the most dangerous?
Talk about a guy who avoided his midlife crisis, other than all the Scientology stuff, maybe, and like his various marriages. But that guy just seems to skate above all of the things.
Yeah.
Like, does he ever wake up sore in bed? I don't think so. I don't think he just rolls out and is like, I don't know why my leg hurts.
And like he doesn't go to the doctor, and the doctor's like, yeah, you just live with that pain now. That's just exists in your legs.
Exactly. Sorry.
although holding his breath for 6 minutes, he was probably breathing pure oxygen before the dive. So that makes it a lot easier.
Okay.
That's what we did on the Billie Eilish shoot. She would breathe like pure oxygen above water. And then when you do that, your blood cells are like supercharged with oxygen. So it's a lot easier to hold your breath for longer.
Is that I've seen some of those like at the airport kiosks where it's like sit down for 5 minutes and breathe pure oxygen. Is that legit? Is that like really helpful?
Yeah. Like if you're hungover.
Diving. If you're hungover? How does that help?
I don't know, but I heard it's really good for that. And like for a while, it was like trending where there was more and more oxygen bars like popping up.
Bars that popped up everywhere.
Yeah.
There was like
I guess they're all
the hookah bars became the oxygen bars. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. But yeah, I think it makes you feel better. Some good oxygen.
Omar, in terms of being in your midlife, is there anything that you feel like maybe you didn't expect now you're in your 40s that you know when you were younger you never would have considered? You talked about like the wanting to leave a legacy and and wanting to basically take care of this crew that is now your family. Anything else that kind of is like a nagging thing or something that you consider like people always told me that's your midlife kind of thing?
I guess health wise, like working out more, like younger, or building a healthier lifestyle where you were active consistently. Because even if you're not like overweight, and if you're not like active to the point where you're like at least walking and running or doing something, like I knew this guy at Mercedes PR in Germany. He would always like every morning wake up and go for like a 3 to 4 mile run, right? Like long distances too, unless more than 4 miles at times. And I would be like, man, this guy's such an overachiever, right?
Yeah.
And like everybody else is grabbing breakfast and he's like coming back from his run. And like I used to see him frequently on these trips. And on Instagram he's always posting about running, and he still does it till this day. He's like, I think 45 or 50 probably now. Yeah. He still does it every day. And I'm like, man, I wish I had something that I stayed dedicated to, like whether it's running or walking every day or something, to just get your body in a healthier future, right?
Yeah.
It's not too late to start running. My sister just started. She's 45. And it's been really nice having her. I run, and like, it's great having the more people around you who run, the easier it is to get on runs, like the easier it is to be motivated when you're not motivated. There's so many times where my sister will send me her really slow, short run screenshot of it. Sorry, Carrie. And then I'll go for a run. Like last night I went for a run at like
just to piss her off and show her up. Yeah. I see your 8-minute pace and I raise you to 7-minute pace. Go.
Oh my, you should try. Have you done any running? It's great. It's so fun.
It's cool that it's like, when you have somebody to like challenge with like that, like, hey, like, let's see if I can beat your time. I don't have anybody around me that does that at all. Like zero friends that are like
zero
into any type of activities. Right. So it's like, I just started like 2 weeks ago, where waking up before the family wakes up to go downstairs on the treadmill, run at least a mile to get my day going.
All right.
And then throughout the day, like, do other things. But very recent, I'm trying to stay motivated to like keep up at it. I mean, I'm not like a person who sits around all the time either. Like, I'm not like, I come into my office, it's like, I'm in my office right now. I come in here like maybe twice a week or once every 2 weeks. Because I'm always out filming or out doing something. But still, like, I always wanted to have something to like get addicted to. Like, I used to play tennis in high school. Wish I continued doing that, but
that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Is there anything else like health wise that you've noticed in your midlife that's not like it used to be, like needing more sleep or eating better or any of that kind of stuff?
Oh my God. Sleep is like the thing that I wish I could tackle. Like for me, throughout the day, like it's like, there's never enough hours in the day to work, right? Especially if it's all on you, right? So it's like, I try to be home as soon as the kids come home from daycare, right? Because like that's like number one to me, no matter what, right? Just spending time with them. So I'm there, and they don't go to sleep. My girls are insomniacs, and they don't go to sleep till like 9:30, 10, 11 sometimes. They're just like hanging out. And then like I'll start working more after they go to bed. And like when you're in the world that we're in of like creating stuff, and you're focused in on editing or like, you know, doing a photo or something like, you know, editing a photo, editing a video, hours go by and you don't even notice. Right.
Right.
The only time it clicks in my head is I have my lamp in my living room to automatically shut off at 2 a.m. And I'm like, crap, it's 2 a.m.
Dang.
I gotta go to sleep. Right. So it's like,
Dude,
I go upstairs and I'm up by like 6:37.
dang.
And you're able to do that. You don't.
I am. Yeah. I mean, like, I don't
You're
get
still able to
too tired
focus
throughout the day, but
Mhm.
yeah, I wish I had more sleep because it does catch up to me frequently. It's not like I'm like, oh, I'm just superhuman and I can function without sleep. Well, like, I wish I could lock in a good 6 to 7 hours a day.
How does it catch up to you?
Oh, just like probably by tomorrow I'll be crashing midday and just like sitting on the couch and I had all this shit planned to do and I never get to it. But
Yeah.
you know, I just like,
Yeah, I
I don't know, just laziness overall. Like you just want to like
Yeah.
snap out of it sometimes. But yeah.
I've definitely been like that for a long time too, where staying up super late, getting up super early. But I don't know. I think because I'm getting older, I struggle with it nowadays, and like my focus is messed up, and I can't. Yeah. So I'm trying.
Do any of you go to sleep
I'm also
before
trying
12?
to.
Oh yeah, dude, sleep. Somebody told me this thing and I'll never forget it. And I think it just is so, I think about this all the time. Sleep is the best way to prevent death. Basically, sleep is the step before death. Sleep is the only thing stopping you from dying, basically. And I was like, that's really interesting. He saw a whole TED talk on it, whatever. I haven't watched the TED talk, but just that quote I thought is a really interesting way to summarize it. I think for me, we were talking about this last week or on last week's episode about mental health. And if I don't have the sleep that I need, that crushes my mental health. I'm shorter with people. I'm, not as confident. I'm certainly not as sharp. I used to work like I had a similar workflow as you, Omar, where it was like, but it was when I was single and I would come home from working in the restaurant and then it's like, I'm going to edit this video until 2 a.m. If I could edit till 2 and get up at 6, that's probably enough sleep. And then I could still do this other thing. It was like as much as I could cram in as possible. But then now after about 9 o'clock, I am toast. I can't, it takes me an hour to do something that would take me 15 minutes in the morning to write an email or to edit a video. It's usually not done well. So I just like acknowledge that like, that's just not going to happen. So I tried to be that way. Like, oh yeah, it's a great opportunity for me to work. Kids are asleep, work from 10 to 12. And I'm just sitting there going like, it's like, what? I got to go to sleep. This is stupid,
I kind of alternate between staying up late and then going to bed like early. So yeah, I'm either going to bed by like 10 or 2.
10 is my
I don't
time.
know, man. Like it's weird because like, you know what you just said, like not having enough sleep is like death, right? It's like you're signing your own death certificate. I just saw that post. You know Steve Barrett, the Diary of a CEO, that podcast?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He just posted a video with some like sleep,
Stats or something.
Was like,
oh, okay.
She was like, oh, anybody who stays awake between the hours of 10 p.m. to 4 a.m. is basically just like killing themselves. Yeah, it's like basically killing themselves. I'm like, oh, well, that's me. So like,
the algorithm knew.
Even if people say that to me directly in my face, I'm like, yeah, whatever. I'm still staying up till 2. Like, no
right. This is what I mean by like the whole, like if I had known at 25, I should invest money.
You're
like,
right.
I don't know, Omar. I don't know that about you, bro.
Right.
Maybe not. Maybe.
Well, the other thing is like long-term memory is created when you're sleeping, right? So like if you don't get enough sleep, then you don't remember those things as well.
Oh, wow.
Like, you have
sure
the
it gets
short-term
worse as you get
memory.
older, right?
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, it does for me for sure. I mean, not like it was ever that good in the first place. But yeah, definitely I noticed that if I'm not getting much sleep, I'm more likely to forget things too.
Yeah.
Well, that makes it tough when you've got young kids. Oh, coffee all day, man. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So it's like, there you go.
Yeah.
So much. And yeah.
I try to stay over 2 cups a day. I try to limit myself to that. William's giving me eyes like he's doing more than that. What are you doing?
I drink like a full pot of coffee a day at least, which is like 10 cups of coffee.
Wow, that's solid. Even Omar's impressed. Omar, what are you at?
0, really. Like I drink maybe like coffee once in a while, maybe once a week. I've been staying away from any type of like caffeinated drinks because I was drinking Celsius a lot for a while.
Oh yeah.
Right? So I pulled back on it.
You're part of that Instagram influencer crowd drinking your
like,
Celsius.
People say it's like the healthiest energy drink or whatever.
Okay.
It's like
I heard the opposite.
Huh?
My 12-year-old niece told me it was the least healthy one.
Really? Oh, well, I don't know.
It can't be worse than Red Bull.
Changes, right?
Monster. Monster. Yeah.
But now I'm trying to do maybe like once a week I'll drink a Celsius or something if I really need it.
I am ready to stop drinking as much coffee. It doesn't really work anymore.
Yeah, that's the thing too for me. I'll have a whole cup in the morning. It's more about the ritual in the morning for me. Yeah. It's like, especially if I can do like a pour over and like grind the beans and like I like the creation moment of it. Or sometimes I'll just do espresso, just an espresso, just a very simple.
How old are your kids that you have that much time to do that? Just
5 and 12. Well, I'm part of the morning. I'm the morning crowd. So I'm up at 5, hit the gym, back by about 6. In the summer, everybody's sleeping until 7. So I get like 45 minutes of just quiet. I would rather get up early and have like a clear mind moment at the beginning than to feel like I'm behind the ball the whole time. You know, like just wake up when my kids wake up, then I've already lost because they're just waking up in different emotional states and I'm not even ready. I go to sleep between 10 and 11. If I can go to bed at 10, then I'm thrilled, and I'm up at around 5.
So 6 hours. What you need?
Yeah, consistently. Wednesdays I take off, sleep in. Try it. And I've also find that the hours I get better sleep between like 8 to 12 than I do like at AM or PM than I would in the morning. If I slept till 9 AM, I'm not going to feel totally refreshed, because for me at least, anything after about 6 is just kind of like a waste, like 7, whatever. Sleep another 2 hours and I feel the same as if I got up 2 hours before. But if I go to bed at 9 or 9:30 and I wake up at 4:30 or 5, I'm like jazzed. So for me, I know that about my own kind of circadian rhythm and clock and stuff. Like that's just, it's like a 2-for-1 value on before midnight than it is, a kind of after midnight. I don't know if
that's what I've been also like practicing a lot recently is like, if you do something that, like, if there's a habit that you're trying to break, right? Like I said, like no matter what anybody tells me, I will not go to sleep early, right? Yeah. If there's like a habit that I've noticed with myself that I'm trying to break, I got to stay dedicated to it for like a week or two. I just force myself to do it no matter what. Like,
and you got to have that accountability. Yeah, I'm going to text you. I'm going to text you every day and say, go to bed at 10 o'clock and let's see if it works.
There's a new TikTok trend right now where guys are calling their friends and saying, good night, buddy. Right?
Yes, we talked about this on the last episode. You call a guy and we also talked about it from the context of like, dudes just don't like talk that way. Like we're talking about mental health, how you just don't bring it up. Usually it's like, whatever, screw it. I'm just going to work through it, kind of thing. But that element of like actually peeling back a little bit of that curtain, like caring about someone and the power of accountability.
Yeah. It's like, you don't know how to give it or accept it. That's what that shows me, right? It's like, it's the funniest thing ever. But yeah, it's like, if I just stay dedicated to something for a week or two, just keep doing it and forcing myself to do it, even if I don't want to do it. Because there are days where you're like, F this, I don't want to do it. Yeah. And like, if you just force yourself, eventually it just becomes like habit, right? So that's what I'm like trying to do. So maybe I'll do that. I'll do that for like a week, no matter what.
Not maybe.
In bed by 10.
We're making the change right now, at least for a week.
I got a plan. One thing I have to figure it out. Editing earlier in the day, right? So that's a good thing. So
okay, all right.
You could do 11. I mean,
that's a compromise.
A little bit, compromise.
I like waking up at 5 only because it gives you time to go work out, get that out of the way.
It's really the best.
Even if, and we did talk about, there's like a whole self-help episode where it was like, wake up at 5, go to the gym, do all these things. And if that doesn't naturally appeal to you, don't try to force it, because then you're just gonna be pissed off the whole time. Like, what is this stupid book? Or like, these guys told me to do this thing.
5
I don't want to do it. Yeah, the 5 a.m. club.
Well, there's no other hour of the day where I'll take time to work out.
Right, exactly.
It's unrealistic that it's going to happen. Because if I want to go to sleep at 10 or 11 even, my girls don't go to sleep and settle down until 9:30, 10. So there's no hour where I can go
and I will say, we moved our kids' bedtimes way earlier, if possible. Like my son, we're doing bath and bed with him around 7 or 7:30. And we've always done that. And Ellis used to be that way. Now she's a preteen. So, she's like up until 10 because her mind doesn't stop kind of thing. Hormones are going crazy. But in terms of like, sometimes there's the reality of life too. You can't be like, hey, honey, I'm off to bed because I made an agreement with my guys. Enjoy taking care of the kids tonight. You know, it's like there has to be some reality in there. Yeah, exactly.
She's
I need
so
to get
pregnant.
some sleep, honey.
She's
I
so
need to get
pregnant.
sleep.
It's like, I'm gonna have out, peace.
She's like, I packed your bag. You can go. You're done.
Yeah.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Yeah.
So, well, that's cool. Well, thank you. We usually kind of wrap up around now, and we usually do like a little takeaway. So we talked about a lot of different stuff today, from sleep, obviously, to work-life balance, to investing in finances and secondary education. We had a little bit of everything. William, what's your takeaway? And then Omar, we'll go to you.
I think for me, the takeaway is that I should maybe start working late into the night again.
No, you've gone the wrong direction. Omar's clearly successful, but just because that's what he does not mean you need to do that, William. Oh, no.
But I do, Omar, it is, I see you. Like, I think it's impressive that you're able to, like, go back to work after your kid goes to bed. And, you know, I've talked about it on this podcast a lot. That's usually what my plan is. And sometimes I'm successful and sometimes I'm not. So, like, you know, the little moments, like me and my sister texting each other about running, like hearing that you're able to do that and doing that consistently, like that's cool for me, because there definitely are times where, even though I do value sleep a lot, like sometimes it is good for me to go back to work after she goes to bed at like 9 or 10. So that's my takeaway.
Wow. I think
like it or lump it.
Same for me. It's like, I have to really force myself, except on Saturday nights, to go to sleep super early. And not super early, like 10. After the girls go to bed, I should just close everything and go to bed.
It's future Omar thanking current Omar. That's what you got to think of that, like from a discipline standpoint. Yeah.
One thing I will say, and that it's something that I've been doing for a while, and that I just saw, they did a study on this, was that people that watch the same show over and over again, right? Especially if it's a comedy show, have a lot more emotional stability in their life than people that always watch new shows, because they know what's coming, they know how to handle it, right? Versus a new show that's kind of like on their mind and they're always thinking about it, and it's like creating more of a thought in there. So I always, no matter what, every day I have either The Office, Modern Family, or Big Bang Theory. I have to watch an episode of 2 of all those, just to like, I need comedy in my life no matter what. Because like life is just so crazy all the time. I'm like, I need some kind of comedic relief every day. So I watch an hour of either show every day.
Oh man, I haven't watched The Office in so long, and I love it.
That is so good. My wife does The Office,
really
Parks and Rec. Those are the two that she loves. Yes. Yeah, those are so classic. I think my takeaway is I'm encouraged by just a reminder that we're not alone. Like, all of us are kind of going through this together. And I love to hear, Omar, what you're going through and how you're facing it and how different that is. But at the same time, it's not. We're still thinking about the same things. We're still trying to figure out the same things. And that's the hope of this podcast, is just a reminder of community, a reminder of people that, like, you're not alone in feeling weird about, should I work late? Should I not? I get up early? Did I go to bed late? And I love the tip there of find a show that you love already and try it out for, on repeat. That clearly that means my wife is very emotionally stable. I am not. When I finish something, I'm on to the next. I'm stoked about finishing The Bear because season 3 is coming up. Got to get through it. Just got to get through it. So, but that focus makes sense because I'm not emotionally stable. So that works.
Pick a funny show that you enjoyed and just watch it over and over again.
That's good. And I'm going to text you. I'm texting you 10 o'clock, buddy. This is how we're going to do this.
I'm down.
We'll report back, and we'll let our viewers know.
Good night with a heart emoji.
There you go. Done. There it is. Consider it done.
Perfect.
I love it. All right. Well, thanks everybody for listening. And Omar, thanks for being our special guest today. Love having you on. And keep crisising, everyone. We'll see you on the next one.
Indeed.